If I had an idol for every time one of my true contenders was voted out the same day I published the video, I'd have two idols, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that neither of them are real. Jeff, what do you mean you won't accept my idol? But it has a face on it. Internet, my name is Peridiam, and welcome to the True Contenders for Survivor 40... Wait, no, that's not the title of the video. What did I title it? Uncovering the Hidden Winner. Huh. I can work with that. So here's the deal. Last season, I've never been more wrong in my winner picking career. Everything turned upside down in my world, and I've decided to flip the script. Normally at this point in the season, I pick 4 players who I think are most likely to win. But in the spirit of the alligabler lurking beneath the surface, I am going to be putting forth every player still in the game as of this video and arguing for why they could win this season. And then I'm going to tell you which players I think sound the best based on the notes I've taken. It's a different approach, but heck, at this point, we're playing with house money. Let's start with Josh. Dr. Josh, the man who has one of the best stories going into the season, is almost not in the season at all, for the most part. But suppose he's actually the winner. What if Josh wins? Out of the gate, this is going to be a tough sell. I have 3 things I can say about Josh potentially winning this season. The first being he is great in the challenges. You see him on that snake? Man was determined. Second, he targeted Claire and got his way. He is right in the thick of the Soka tribe through 3 episodes, and good for him. And then lastly, Josh actually did talk about his story for a brief second in the opening of the premiere, and hey, maybe just like Erica and Gabler, he's laying low until his story comes alive in the second half of the season. Wouldn't be unprecedented in this new era. Or he's the next boot. You had a good run, Josh. Flipping to Tika, let's talk about Sarah. What is the season looking like for Sarah so far? Well, she's got an immensely powerful advantage out of the gate that can basically absorb all advantages played at a tribal, like Kirby. And perhaps that will add more worth to her in the future. After she lost her vote and then her number 1 ally in Helen, we see her story begin to pick up in episode 3, where she's now the underdog on her tribe. Sarah hasn't had a lot of emphasis placed on her just yet, but maybe she'll catch a break sooner than later. And again, it is more than Erica got through 3 episodes. And so let's just sort of bounce around through the cast. We have Ratu, the Orange Tribe, and I'm going to start with Jamie. Jamie was apparently the target at the first vote, and that is why she played her shot in the dark. She's the first person ever to pull a safe scroll through the shot in the dark, and yet we didn't get much context for why she wanted to do this. Was this panic hidden from us to undersell Jamie's target and paranoia? If I'm being honest, I don't think so. If anything, I'd blow her target up more for this moment, but then I would also give Heather an edit in 41, so what do I know? Jamie also found a fake idol in episode 3 and has yet to realize it's fake, and wow. Okay, yeah, no, this is not a great start to her winning story. But she did eat a worm. Is that a metaphor? Please tell me that's a metaphor. I think I can actually make a better case for Josh at this point, but maybe Jamie's rough start will turn around into a triumphant moment of revenge against Matthew. What about Sir Kane of the High Shelter? First of his name, Kane is able to find crabs in trees and get half-knighted by Probst himself. For someone who was on the wrong side of the first vote and was very much on the outs in episode 2, Kane has had a good amount of characterization and time to shine. I like Kane and regret putting him last in my preseason picks. There's a certain level of dorky charm that shines through, and I'm rooting for him to survive this messy Ratu tribe. If nothing else, for Kane to be the winner, it's that feeling of hope that has me wondering if there's legs to his journey. I think Kane needs to just survive like a vote or 2 to make it to the merge and then blend in with the other superfans. Kane, roll that 20. And then we flip back to Soka, and we have Matt, the lover boy who's got hearts in his eyes. If nothing else, Matt is one of the most emphasized players on his tribe. Just being front and center is worth a shout. He is currently getting duped by a fake idol, but I think given how many fakes are out there and the birdcage twist being such a driving force of this early game, that Matt kind of falls where the producers want him to fall right now in the story. He's got his Amber, he's got his journey, he's got a potential story where he falls on his face, but if he can survive that, perhaps he turns it around. I do think it's a lot to ask. It's a bit unprecedented historically, but I think he's more likable than I anticipated, and there's something to work with here. Heidi, on the other hand, has a little less to work with, but I will say, she's got a tagline. In the first episode, And that's worth a lot. Lamb to lion, anyone? She's tiny, but mighty. She made fire for her tribe. She clearly has strong relations when she's the swing vote at the first tribal. All eyes are on her. So why not going forward? She talks about her game quite a lot in these first few episodes, and I think she's more of a gamer than she lets on. This could definitely be a solid foundation for what goes on to be a winning game. Back on the Orange Ratu, we have Brandon, who is very much the athletic provider for his tribe. He played an idol correctly on himself in the premiere, and he had a lot of things to say about his tribe and his position. He's got the strongest bond on Orange with Matthew, he's catching fish, and shown to be a likable powerhouse. This is easily the groundwork for a stock standard all-arounder to win the game without making him be so out in front to catch our attention. He's currently got his sights set on Kane, and I think for the next step in his potential winning game, he needs to make that move. And he needs to be the one to get that credit. Lauren, meanwhile, is very cunning. She rigged the rocks in the premiere to go to Advantage Island. She banked her vote to secure an extra vote, and she's situated in the middle of her tribe between Brandon and Matthew and Kane and Jamie. I think Lauren is set up well for the first part of this season, and as she said so herself, she is out here to show her kids she can overcome any challenge. I would be shocked if she doesn't make the merge, and I think she's one to keep an eye on. I think both Jeff and the audience would love to see her win. Finally, getting back to Tika, the Purple Tribe, I want to talk about Carson. As far as I'm concerned, he's the Tom Holland of the Survivor Cinematic Universe. Carson is chock full of game and story and everything. He's a plump turkey, and I'm not talking about the 30 pounds he gained to be out there. I think he is clearly a challenge threat, so he's got that covered. He gets the strategy of how to position himself in his tribe. We saw that he was the swing vote at that Tika tribal in episode 2, and I think he made the smart move. And despite blindsiding Helen, Sarah still trusts him the most. If Carson is the winner, we are seeing it all. Dare I say, youngest Survivor winner ever? If I had to pick one profession to be for a stock standard Survivor winner, it is firefighter. Who wouldn't give it to a firefighter? Which means, who wouldn't give it to Danny? Danny is playing his heart out in this early game, and yeah, it may be too much too soon, but he kind of represents what I think Probst wants the usual player to be like. Creative, on their toes, and active in their desire to be one step ahead. Danny's fake idol ploy was all of that. He's calling the shots on Soka, and he kind of reminds me of Tony a little bit. And I don't say that very often. I do think he could have used a little bit more emphasis in the premiere, but otherwise, Danny is set to take the game by the reins. And I just gotta say, that note probably didn't taste very good. Earlier in the video, I talked about Matt finding his Amber, but what I forgot to mention is that Amber won in the end. Not Matt or Rob. So where does Franny land in all of this? For every pro in Matt's corner, Franny shares the same. She is front and center on Soka. She has a story to work with. She's in a decent spot, given Matt likely goes before her, and every time the story focuses on the two of them, which is pretty often, it's angled from the perspective of what's best for Franny. I've been paying attention, and it's subtle, but you know, a lot of the winners in this new era have subtle hints to what's working for them. And if Franny does in fact win this season, why not introduce subtle hints at the very beginning? Matthew. Matthew was my preseason winner pick, and that was with the knowledge that he was gonna fall off a rock. And you know what? Even after seeing him fall off that rock, he's still there, he's playing hard, and if he wins the game, he won't even be the first person to do so with a dislocated shoulder. Tyson sends his regards. Matthew is making fake idols, he's hiding his vote by playing his shot in the dark, he's got an ally in Brandon, he's a super fan with a backstory, a flashback, and man, if this isn't a full package, I don't know what is. Which also, conversely, may be the biggest problem after only 3 episodes. It may be too good. But many winners have had it good, and maybe Matthew will cool down soon, and if he does win, we can't really say we didn't notice it, can we? Jam Jam is another fascinating player that I am enamored with this season. He's kind of like the wingman of the entertainment on the Tika tribe, getting a laugh out of his tribe mates and us when he snores. He has a great moment in the premiere episode where he tells us that Fiji is kind of like Puerto Rico. He was built for this. Heck, he made fire. He's positioned well, his ally has an idol, he's in power, and I think more than anything else, he's quite likable. If he wins, I think the audience will understand how, and I also think they'll be rooting for him. But I also think it's worth pointing out that every winner of the new era has had one thing in common. One tiny little thing that's hidden in the season that may be wrong this time because why not? But maybe it's not. Maybe it's a hint. Whip out that magnifying glass because Erica, Marianne, and Gabler all spoke to Jeff on the mat at the beginning of the season. And that's not something most players were shown to do. And look, I've heard so many theories about people who used to like examine the intro and the placement of players in the intro before when we had an intro. And yeah, I don't actually think there's a ton of substance to this. I won't hang my entire hat on it, but I think it should be noted that Franny, Matthew, and Jam Jam each got that coveted question. But then, what if we save the best for last? What about the most obvious hint of all? If we're truly uncovering the hidden winner of the season, why not have it be the player who we first see introduced to us in the very first second of the season? Carolyn, the winner of Survivor 44. Maybe not. Feels like a pipe dream, but look, if Gabler can win after stabbing his tribe in the dark with palm fronds, why the heck can't Carolyn? Or anyone? Carolyn has an idol, she's in power, she's front and center for her tribe. Love her or not, you will remember her. She's not the usual pick, but that's the point of me flipping the script. In fact, despite trying my best to argue in favor of each player, the truth is that my true contenders are these last 4 players I just talked about. I think the new era of Survivor is highly unpredictable in regards to who wins, and I love that. It's a whodunit murder mystery that has me considering all angles. And in the end, I love a good blindside. And that's it. That's my attempt at uncovering the hidden winner of Survivor 44. They're all winners, except I'm actually going to be picking Franny, Matthew, Jam Jam, and Carolyn. And now watch as one of them gets voted out next. Either way, let me know who you think is the hidden winner of the season. Who are your top picks and why? A big thank you to my patrons for working with me here. I am trying my best to not be so wrong this time. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to lock in your picks on your way out before the next episode, because that's when the bragging rights expire, and I will see you in the next one once I actually play my stick idol. I don't care what anyone says, it's real to me.
This isn't it. This isn't it. This is so stupid. This is just a napkin. It's not the idol.
It is the idol.
It's not the idol.
Yes, it is.
That's not the idol.
What is it?
It's a stick.
I know. It has a face on it.
I think that that's not the idol.
And that's a bummer.